Man, after last night, do a quick Smackdown overview. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. By the way, just in case nobody knew, Cody's pissed, Seth Rollins is pissed, Roman Reigns is pissed, and The Rock is definitely pissed off. He is here slapping people as if he owns the planet now. Damn. The guy's wild press conference yesterday. This is the Not So Creative Podcast, and this is Z. And to be quick, Smackdown. Man, I feel like that press conference had so much more excitement than Smackdown tonight. Just my feel. That's how I feel about it. I'm going to go over things I will say. They already hyped out next week. Next week should be good. This week was a letdown. It was almost like you have the highs, you know, with the press conference, all the things that are going on, the hype behind it, the crowd, the hosts. CM Punk was great. Biggie was good. Pat McAfee was, The Rock. The Rock's fan. He was looking at things, The Rock's my buddy. I'm not going to bash him. Type of situation. Michael Cole was Michael Cole, right? Anyway, Smackdown. Here we are. So tonight they're about to have some Elimination Chamber matches for Perth, Australia, for that Elimination Chamber event. I know it's going to be a good pay. It's going to be a good. I'm so used to saying pay-per-view. I'm so sorry. It's going to be a good one. That crowd is going to be hot. They're going to be crazy in that place. It's a stadium show. I expect it to be massive. Like really, they're going to come and bring it. That audience is going to be. Last year was Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was off the charts for a small arena. I expect Australia to be bumping in 2 weeks. So we were having the Elimination Chamber matches for both the men and women. They announced that after talk, so on and so forth. Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce were talking and saying, hey, after further discussions, Triple H first made the announcement about that the match is official, that it will be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the Undisputed title. Whatever you want to call it. Undisputed Universal title, whatever. Let's just call it the gold belt because that's what basically it is. I mean, they're both gold belts, but, to finish his story. Then at that point, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce took over and they said after much discussion, we both basically came with names to Seth Rollins still has to defend his title. So they came up with a whole bunch of names for the Elimination Chamber matches. And of course, they're going to have elimination matches to have who's going to make it to the event to battle for that spot against Seth Rollins. I'm thinking I'm about to say it. I don't know what's really going to happen. There's just so much going on. I think next week and the next couple of weeks is going to paint a straighter picture. I'm just not settled yet that Cody Rhodes is going to fight Roman Reigns for the belt. And if he is, there's going to be hurdles because his story is so complicated. There's always a complication. Something gets in the way. I just feel like that's something I'm waiting to happen again. But again, the next couple of weeks, are you going to just let it go that The Rock just slapped you in the face? Triple H, again, the history between The Rock and Triple H, of course, wrestling wise. I like it how they bring into the angle that, The Rock's on the board and, It doesn't matter what you think. Triple H addressed him and said those things. And it was good, directly for The Rock. Unfortunately, for Triple H, there's no way he would come back and wrestle. Not after what, his health scare. So, but I like it that, it's out there saying, hey, you know what? I don't care what you think. I don't care what seat you have. We run the show over here, not you. So how was that? I think the first match was, what was it? I mean, after that, they announced the matches and so on and so forth. I feel like there was more matches that were going on. I mean, I think the first match was Bianca Belair against Mi Chen, if I'm right. Yeah, they just had. Oh no, I'm sorry, my fault. No, it wasn't Bianca Belair. I mean, it doesn't matter. The show was okay. We already know who's going to win between Bianca Belair and Mi Chen. I mean, let's say crazy outside interference. No, Bianca Belair won and she's advancing to Elimination Chamber. I mean, Bianca Belair and Mi Chen, it was an okay match, The first match was actually Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. That was all right. But I think it was pretty predictable that we know who was going to win that match. And that was Drew McIntyre. He won. LA Knight was sitting outside the ring, and it looks like they're going to have that end up being at some point a match at WrestleMania. Somewhere the other, something's going to happen. I feel like AJ Styles and LA Knight are going to clash due to what happened in the match. AJ Styles is going to blame LA Knight. LA Knight's a part of the tournament too for the Elimination Chamber to qualify. I could see AJ Styles getting in the way and causing him the match as well. And it was simple. AJ Styles was by the announce table. LA Knight was there as a guest announcer. And he basically tipped his water bottle as AJ was out, and the water just started falling on him. Basically, I think LA Knight was trying to help him out, actually saying, hey, this guy needs to wake up a little bit. So let me just accidentally just pour some water on him. I mean, that was it with that match. And then I'm just trying to think, what else? I mean, to me, it was just an okay show. And I enjoy a lot of shows. I just felt like it was, let's just get by this week now. We already did, our best work. Let's just get by it now. Let's put these matches together for Elimination Chamber. Just get the ball rolling at this point. So that's my feeling of it. Like last night, it was still being talked about. They were talking about that. And it just felt like, okay, let's just get it. Let's just get these matches in. The pay-per-view is going to be, the PLE is going to be good. It's just, let's just get this work going already so that we can really be on the road to WrestleMania. I mean, it is there already. It's just right now the road's going to lead to Elimination Chamber first. Then it'll be really, really nothing else in the way. And you have about a month, a little over a month, maybe a week and a half to really hype it. And those are the small things I miss, of the, aside from having a PLE every month. There should, at this time of the year, they should have Royal Rumble, skip whatever Elimination Chamber is, figure another way to do something, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, something. Make like a great show that people could watch. And then you go from there. Or at least decide what you want to do right after the Rumble. Start having, whatever beefs are there and, agendas you got to resolve between whoever it is. And you have usually about 2 months to hype it up. Those are the good old days. Because right now, we want, after yesterday, we want to get answers. It was great. It was unpredictable. And I keep on saying that because that's what I wanted, was unpredictability. We ended up getting it. And then today it's like, hey, Roman is fighting Cody. And that's all great and good. I just feel that something else is going to come up between now and then. Like something's going to happen. I don't think The Rock will go on Pat McAfee's show and say, hey, I'm training, my body hurts, it's different. It's not the same. Of course, you're older. I would be hurt. So, with that, I just can't see how he's not going to be a part of it in some way, or at least be involved in a match or something physical. The guy looked like when you looked at the interview, the press conference yesterday, when he's standing next to Roman, he really did look like Hobbs. He had that whole Hobbs look going for him. That badass, like that ego guy, massive ego. I don't give a shit. I can whip anybody's ass. So that was that. Again, it was just basically little things here and there. So Drew McIntyre won, and after that, it was Bianca Belair versus Miesha. I already said what happened with that. Then they cut out back to the locker room. Triple H is there. Then there's Braun Breaker. I like that they're slowly introducing him into this. And Braun, was basically talking to Triple H, and Triple H gave him high accolades. Hey, I can't wait to see what you do up here. You have a lot of great stuff going. I'm so excited for you. So on and so forth. Then Braun asked him the question, hey, I need a little advice. I have these 2 offers now from SmackDown and Raw. Basically, he's unsure which one. And then he asked him for advice. And Triple H basically said, hey, whatever you feel is best for you. And then as he was about to say something else, comes out Paul Heyman. And then, Triple H looks pissed at that moment. And, he's basically like saying, hey, like, what do you want? Paulie says, hey, nothing. I know you're still about yesterday, we'll talk to you next week. So on and so forth. And then he said, Roman Reigns will be here. And The Rock will be here in SmackDown. And at that point, it was like, all right, I need to just turn this TV off at this point. They already announced that they're not going to be there after yesterday. I was hoping that they would do something, like say something after yesterday's, things. But again, I get it. They're probably hanging out right now, about to watch the Super Bowl or whatever. All of them. Him. Kidding aside, at the end of the day, they are performers, but, they can't do that. That would just be a bad look. But they're probably out there, in Vegas. It would be a long trip to fly out, to go back to Vegas again, Super Bowl weekend, or whatever. Or just whatever you got to do. There is something's about to come up with The Rock. The Rock's going to show up again next week, right? Officially it is WrestleMania, but after yesterday, I want to hear something from him. Or at least when Triple H was addressing it, it would have been great if he'd be interrupted by The Rock and Roman Reigns at that point and say, hey, wait a second. Now that's only us here. And I'm sure that's, you have to hype up the SmackDown to get the ratings up and so on and so forth. I get it. But we were all watching it, waiting for something like that to happen tonight. Then maybe you can follow up and then take the break. Have The Rock come out or whoever. Roman Reigns and The Rock comes out because, again, basically Triple H was addressing The Rock. Oh, so it doesn't matter where I sit? Oh, so it doesn't matter now. So now you're the one calling all the shots? Then you get a little exchange, that'd be great. Again, I'm just giving my perspective, my view, my opinion. If that's me, I was like, wait a second. So you don't care that I'm on the board? Wait, I could, if you don't like it, if you don't change this shit, you have to curse a little bit because that's what he was doing yesterday. The Rock dropped an F-bomb, and that was great. I felt like it was ECW for a moment. I was like, oh shit, Rock turned into ECW now. I would say, if you don't give a shit over where I sit and you want to do these things, I have full power that I can completely stop everything that you're doing, right? And I'm sure, let's see, we don't know where it's going to go. I expect The Rock just not to allow what Triple H said tonight to be a non-factor next week. He's going to point that out. Hopefully, he says something about that. Address Cody, address Seth, whoever it is, you got to address. Because they were all there, barking at him and Roman after what happened. And I love the way that Seth came out too. I feel like Seth was even angrier than Cody. He said something that had a great point. Wait, so because you're in the board, you think you can just do whatever you want? I love that. So of course Triple H is going to follow up with that, but Seth was great with that. I'm just trying to think what else. I'm looking more towards next week already. The best match of the night? Best match of the night? Tonight? Well, I'm going to go over them. Then I'll say it. It was nice seeing, Braun Breaker, and I'm hoping at some point he makes a decision, but we have to wait. I think they have a tag team title match this week. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin versus Tony D'Angelo and Stax. So I guess we'll see what happens after that. If they don't win, then I could see him just being moved up ASAP. If they don't win. If they do win, it will be interesting. It will be interesting. He's going to double up NXTN, whichever roster he chooses. You're not going to give up the tag titles just like that, unless they drop him before or whatever. That was nice to see. Last match was Randy Orton against Sami Zayn. And I like how they put the matches. There was not every match has to be a heel versus face. 2 fan favorites. Clean wins. It was a clean win. There was no question. You caught him with the RKO and that was it. Match was okay. And I mean in the aspect that there were moments that it was reaction times, as far as being hit with something and kind of slow with it. And that was okay. I have no problem with, I like both of them. It was a little tough to see in the live audience. Great on TV. Best match of the night was a tag team title match. I'm sorry, not the tag team title match. It's for the number 1 contender for the tag team title match. Tyler Bate, who I love from NXT. He really is the big strong boy. The guy can do, it's amazing. And the bruiserweight Pete Dunne versus DIY. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Excellent match. Great match. If you want to just skip this whole show and just want to watch a wrestling match, a good one, the tag team match was phenomenal. And that's saying a lot now because that's 2 straight nights. Well, let's say Raw show, for that 4-way tag team match was great, which is what led to this match. And then tonight was great. It's nice to see the tag team division warming up again. And I'd like to see that. Next week, women's elimination chamber match. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to predict the 2 matches coming up for the women. I'm actually looking more forward to that versus, the matches for next week on the men's side. And the Raw men's is almost kind of predictable on that end. I think on Raw you have Lashley versus Bronson Reed. I expect Lashley to go through. I mean, goodness, if you don't have him go through, then what is the point of this whole, him with the Street Profits, But again, I could see how these guys interfere. The Authors of Pain and, oh my goodness, I forget his name now. Whatever. It's like, I don't care about that. It's to the point, it's like, goodness, I don't even think about it. That sucks. Because, Bobby Lashley had a really good last couple of years when he had that title run. That was a great one. And then it was almost like, once you go through that major title run, or at least that one, he got it back. He had that big battle with Brock. And that was good. Then it just kind of like, it's like, oh, what do you do with him now? And they kind of injected a little life with him with the Street Profits because they kind of like needed each other. And then you have these guys, I don't know who's fighting. I didn't take notes on the next week, but next week, as far as the women's match, I'm more interested in that. Shotzi versus Tiffany Stratton. I could see Tiffany Stratton winning again. She would be phenomenal in the Elimination Chamber. Then they have Naomi versus Elena. Another good match. I expect Naomi to go through. I mean, you just got her written. You need to put her in Elimination Chamber. And Tiffany Stratton, I've said it before in another podcast, need to watch that NXT main event, that PLE when she fought Becky Lynch. She earned it that night. And after that, it was like, all right, it's a matter of it's going to be a short amount of time before they move her up. Amazing match. Must watch. Let's see what else. I mean, that's it. Like I said, I'm looking forward to next week more than what happened this week. Once they announced Roman and Rock, it's like, all right, now we got to watch it now. The great thing about Triple H, he could say something, but he can't do much anymore. He can't do anything. He can't, do what, perform. That would be great. Because that would have been great. Choosing sides, because you're going to see The Rock chose what side, the side he's on. And, just to kind of go over it, give it a couple more minutes. I loved what I saw yesterday. That was great. To see The Rock as a heel again, kind of give clues. I mean, we don't know where this is going. We don't know what's going to happen. And that's awesome. I don't like the whole predictable thing. We can, predict and kind of say it, but I like it when it's not too obvious. I mean, it's like you go, I keep on mentioning the movies. Like you go to the movie, you know the ending. What's the purpose of watching the movie then? How are you going to be entertained? What, you don't know the beginning and the middle, but you already know the end? That's like your friend telling you, man, you know what? At the end, he doesn't get the girl or he doesn't make it. It's like, well, I'm not going to watch it now. What's the point of me watching it? I like it that they're bringing that unpredictability because it's very difficult to make it, to make it unpredictable because of social media. Those are the things I said. And it was funny because I saw a video to interview with Damian Priest, and he said the same thing. Exactly what I've been saying, what I've wanted for so long. It's nice. So what if we're pissed off? What if Cody didn't get the title shot? Let things unfold. We don't know where it's going. How do we know? Sometimes we have to sit back and just chill and just enjoy it. Unfortunately, many of us, get very sensitive in things we see, and then we just start going off without even knowing the result at the end. sometimes we don't need to know the result. We don't know where things are going for us sometimes, right? I like to be a realist at some point and say, hey, you know what? We need to chill out. Once you watch the movie, if it wasn't a good movie, if it wasn't a good show, you know what? Like right now, the show was all right. It wasn't great. I'm looking forward to next week already because that's what I was looking for. Yeah, Triple H doesn't make the announcement. Well, I think he already had made the announcement on Twitter or X or whatever you call it now. It's official. So, for who nobody saw that, not everybody, has Twitter. So I guess he's going to address it and say it again. But we already knew what happened. What we didn't know is what's going to happen with The Rock now. He wants to get involved in a match. So now, is he involved? Is he going to sneak his way, use his power, override it? Is he going to veto Triple H? Those are the things. If he really can't do anything, then why the hell is he showing up next week? Right? But that's what I like and that's what I love about it. It's that we don't know what he's going to say. We don't know what's going to come up. I mean, shit, for all we know, he's going to be pissed at Roman Reigns. We don't even know what's going to happen. And by the way, there's that video that they shot on WWE when he's when he's leaving the arena. And he said something about never again. If you notice the whole time, you know how Paulie admires the tribal chief? He was looking at The Rock the whole time, like as far as like, nah, this guy's the real tribal chief right here. I gotta listen to this guy, man. I'm so happy he's on our side. He had that walk, that swagger that went along with it. And that was great. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's going to be interesting. There's a long time between now and then. A lot of things can change. We've seen a whole shitload of things that can change between now and then. A lot of questions remain. So many things going on. The one thing I do want to see, and the one thing I really want to see, no offense to Finn Balor and Damian Priest, let's get a real tag team win these belts now. Like one that has like really, cohesiveness, ones that really work together. Yeah, you're part of the group and so on and so forth, but I feel like it's holding Damian Priest back from having these moments that he can cash in his Money in the Bank. Still a long time. We're already into next year though. Time is running short. Io Sky didn't wait, if you saw that. And she picked the best opportunity. I feel like his timing is off. It's almost like that Austin Theory, Money in the Bank thing. It's going to get to the point that it's like, you know what? It's great that you're a tag team champion, but you have something that's so important that's even beyond the tag team. And your own group is holding you back. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed this one. So sorry. Bayley came out to speak. Goodness. She went to speak and she said about, how important Damage Control was and how it meant so much to her. And she's happy to support the fans and they've been with her the whole ride, from the start to now and all, basically her ups and downs, her good and the bad, they still are there for her. And then Dakota Kai came out and she basically questioned Dakota Kai saying, hey, where were you last week? You weren't around. What happened? And Dakota Kai said, hey, this is a situation. We were all together. It hurts to see this happen. Once the Kabuki Warriors came together, when Asuka and Kairi came, it was basically, things changed from there. And then Bayley was like, well, whose side are you on? Do you stay with me or are you with them? Then, their music hit. Kabuki Warriors came out. Io Sky came out. And they surrounded the ring, basically. They're about to go in. And you see Dakota Kai disappears. Like, where the hell did she go? And you see Bayley alone. And they're about to go in. And as they go in, then you see Dakota Kai grab a chair, and it's like, oh, she's about to smack Bayley with it. Wow. No, she went after the Kabuki Warriors and scared them off to not attack her. And then Dakota basically stayed with Bayley, saying yes, and yes, and so on and so forth. Is she really with Bayley? Do we know? I mean, again, with the way things are going these days, I would like to be like Stone Cold at this point. DTA. Don't trust anyone at this point. You got your title shot. You want to be on my side? Then great. If you're not on my side, then I understand. So I don't know, what's going on. But yeah, you gotta watch your back, and Bayley has done it all, but you just don't know who to trust anymore. Look what happened with Damage Control. Now Dakota Kai wasn't there, which is understandable, and hopefully she is with Bayley, because that would be even up things a little bit. Dakota Kai said she was at the doctor. She was basically looking to get cleared because she's about to come back soon as well. Like, that women's division all throughout Raw, SmackDown is so stacked. So stacked. Incredibly stacked. And it's unfortunate that Charlotte Flair's hurt. And I know I'm just changing subjects on the fly. That's how it works sometimes. Just wanted to point that out. It's so stacked. You have Tiffany, Shotzi. I mean, like I already mentioned it before. I don't have to go through all these names. Bianca Belair, Bayley, Io, Kabuki Warriors. Even Chelsea Green is fun to watch with her comedic routine, It's so many. So many. Of course, Rhea Ripley. Becky. I mean, who else? There's so many to list. It's like you can just go down the line, and I feel like their division is even more stacked than the men's. Then you have, of course, Dakota Kai's going to come back soon. You're like, who else? Oh, I'm sorry, Jade Cargill, Naomi. There's a lot. There's so many. Nia Jax. There's a lot. It's, it's fun to watch. This is the best. This is why they're doing so well. They have so many people. Tiffany Stratton. I mean, I think I've already mentioned her twice. Yeah, but anyway, SmackDown was okay. At the end of the day, that was what it was. Next week will be good. Raw, let's see what happens next week with Raw. I think SmackDown is going to be a strong show next year. I mean, not next year, next week. Goodness, I'm already talking about next year. Next week. Rock is going to be there. Roman Reigns is going to be there in Utah. That's what I think I heard. Anyway, guys, you can always check the channel out. Podcast, Apple, Spotify, even on Google, YouTube. Uploads everywhere now. If you see it on YouTube, please check it out, listen to it, leave comments. Hope you guys enjoy. Opinion-based. And I'm just talking about wrestling these days because it's just a hot topic and a hot season, and it's a lot of good things. Check out the tag team match. It was worth it. I'll see you guys.